What's going on, guys? Nick here at Data Dash. So, I apologize for the lack of a finger snap at the beginning of the video. However, I really do not feel it's fitting with what I'm going to be talking about today. And I really don't want to push it off any longer. As you all can probably tell from the video, I've made a mistake and I want to talk about it with you guys. I feel like I've messed up. And as always on the channel, I want to be transparent. So as you all know, I don't cut my content. There will be no jump cuts in this video. It'll be all raw in the flesh, me talking to you guys and talking about the issue. And yeah, I hope that you all stay around for it. I apologize if it's going to be a little bit lengthy, as you can probably tell from the length of the video. But I want to jump right into it and start to talk about why I think you guys really like my channel. We have been able to grow the largest cryptocurrency channel in the space, and that with how exciting this space is, that is a real undertaking that we've done as a community. I appreciate it every single day, and I think that the biggest reason we've been able to build such a great community is the fact that when I produce content of any form, when I reach out to you guys on a private level of private messaging, or if I make content that reaches out towards tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people on the channel, you guys know that there's a sense of transparency and trust. And it's something that I think I've been able to build up quite well over the past few months. I really do genuinely believe that it's best to be honest and be completely blunt with you guys on things. So for example, when I talk about some kind of coin or a cryptocurrency of some sort that I'm optimistic on, if I'm invested in it or if I'm trading it, if there's that, in a sense, conflict, I want to be transparent with you all. And I tell you all about it. As you guys can go back to my videos, I mention it. I'm a long-term investor in something, or I'm currently doing a swing trade on this. I mention it to you guys. And I believe that transparency is important. I really think it is in the world of finance. And along with that as well, you all know that a pillar of my channel is that I don't do paid ICO reviews. I know I mentioned it a lot in the past, and it is something that I've stayed attested to for the past few months. It's something that I decided quite some time ago that I wasn't going to do because I don't feel it's morally right. However, going back to what I just said a second ago, I decided it quite some time ago. And this is where the mistake comes. Something that I've been meaning to talk about for a while. I didn't know how to talk about it on the channel, and I didn't really realize it was an issue until later on. But there were two cryptocurrency projects that I've covered on the channel that I did receive a form of payment on, and to be fair, I don't think I was completely transparent on, or at least I could have done a much better job on it. Those two projects that I talked about were Substratum and Syndicator. Now, keep in mind, before I continue to talk in about any more details, I not only genuinely believe in these projects, but I was already planning to cover both of them on the channel. It just so happens that, as I've mentioned multiple times, I get contacted from a variety of ICOs in the crypto space daily to do videos and interviews. Now, I want to first and foremost take it one step at a time and talk about Substratum. As you all know, I have talked heavily about how I'm optimistic on this. I have made a wide variety of content on the Substratum project on my channel, and because of that, I know it might seem like that's a conflict of interest. But I want to break it down. First and foremost, when I made the video that I got paid for in regards to Substratum, it was back during the summer. It was back when my channel was much smaller. And again, like I said, I was very excited about the Substratum project. I heard about this project when a variety of you in the community, at least 2 or 3 people, had brought up to check out the white paper. And at the time, 2 to 3 people mentioning a project was pretty exciting, so I had to look into it. And I got really excited about what Substratum had to offer in this project and the idea of the decentralized web. And I still am extremely excited about it. I don't want you all to take this as if this is like, I'm negative on it. But it turned out at the time when I was planning to do a review on it, I happened to get reached out from an intern at the company about doing an ICO review on it. And I said, sure, yeah, I was excited to cover it. And I ended up covering the project. And at the end of it, I received a form of payment. Now, again, the payment was not the motivation. Keeping transparent with that, it was not the motivation, but I did accept the payment. And to be transparent with you all, from my understanding, if I'm looking back on it again, I have quite short-term memory. I will provide all the resources down below so you can see it for yourself. I was paid 6 Ethereum back during the summer, as well as 100,000 Substratum tokens. Now, it might sound like a lot, but I'm going to go ahead and explain some good news and some bad news. I've been trying to find a way to where I can redeem myself in regards to this. And the first thing that me and the moderators talked about once this kind of became a topic of discussion was the good news is that even though I had sold my Ethereum once I received it, I can go about going to repurchase it. I'm going to repurchase the equivalent Ethereum, even though it's worth much more in its USD valuation. I'm going to purchase back that Ethereum, that 6 Ethereum, and I'm going to donate it to a charity of choice. I want you guys down in the comments down below to leave some ideas for charities. You guys like the charity, give it a thumbs up. If we can't get any down in the comments, I'll find one, something I can donate to. Maybe I'll have to cash it out, whatever it is. But I want to redeem myself in that sense. And I do want to, first and foremost, not only be transparent, but apologize. You guys should get better than that. Or you guys get better than that, must sound wrong. You guys know that I'm better than that. I hope you can see it was an honest mistake. And looking back on it, I wish I would have never taken the payment for it. Now, I know the other thing that you're probably wondering about is the 100,000 Substratum tokens. And you're like, Nick, that's more probably the bigger conflict of interest. Is that what you mean when you say you're investing in it? First off, no, it's not. I've made, first and foremost, personal capital investments inside Substratum. I've put my own Bitcoin into Substratum that I've earned from my other investments and trades. The second thing I need to mention is that there's the bad news with it. The 100,000 Substratum tokens, and this is quite embarrassing for me to talk about being one of the largest channels in the space. One of the biggest problems with the 100,000 Substratum tokens is that I do not have access to it. Now, to keep it very short and condensed in the sense of the story, long story short, at the time did not have an ERC20 token supported wallet. I kept anything that was Ethereum related on exchange. Now I've learned a lot about wallet technology, and I have anything that I need stored on my wallets. However, at the time, though, I downloaded the Ethereum wallet. It was the standard Mist wallet, I think. I think that's what it's called, on my SSD on my computer. Now, again, didn't know much about the wallet, but I synchronized it with the network, and I downloaded a copy of the ledger, and I was able to receive both my Substratum and my Ethereum. Now, I cashed out my Ethereum, as I've told you all, but the Substratum itself, I left in there because I want it to be a long-term holding. I didn't want to sell it. I believed in it. And it turns out that later on, when I wanted to access my wallet, I couldn't access it because I needed to download extra parts to the ledger. The ledger's pretty big for Ethereum. You have to download it. With that wallet, I have to download an entire copy of it to have an entire copy of the blockchain. The bad news with that is that when I was trying to do that, my SSD ran out of storage. Now, me being quite inexperienced with wallets at the time, I thought, oh, well, that would be simple. Why don't I just drag it to my hard drive? And I made the honest, earnest mistake of moving it to my hard drive, and it didn't work. And I don't know if I had tried moving it back to my SSD or whatever. This was, again, months ago. But it turns out that I ended up deleting it because I thought that it was rendered worthless. And I was quite embarrassed about it at the time. It was one of the few areas of cryptocurrencies that I still didn't know much about. And because of that, as of now, it's not accessible. I can't grab that 100,000 Ethereum and sell it on exchange. And you can go check it right now. It's still sitting in that wallet address. Haven't touched it. And it upsets me in that sense. Now, here's the sort of good news. We're going to try to use a file recovery system on the computer to hopefully see if on my hard drive I can get the key store. With that, I might be able to access my wallet. And if I can get that 100,000 Substratum, I'm going to cash it out and donate it to the nearest charity or trade it with Ethereum or Bitcoin, whatever it may be. Again, I want to do whatever I can to make up for this, guys. And the same goes for the Syndicator project. The Syndicator project was, again, another project I believed in. I was excited to cover in the first place, but I ended up getting a bounty reward for it, which ended up being, I think, around $3,000 to $4,000 of Bitcoin. I don't know how much that was at the time, but I will make sure to donate the equivalent back. I promise to you guys. It's the way I'm going to make up for this, and it wouldn't make sense for me not to with being this transparent with you guys. So, again, I want you guys to help me out with picking a charity. And again, I'm sorry. I don't think this is something that many of you will really care about. I know many of you joined way after it. However, for those of you out there who are just a day or a week old with the channel, or if you've been someone who's been here since 100 subscribers, I feel like I owe both an apology and a sense of transparency with you all. We have built the largest cryptocurrency channel in the space, and it feels so great to know that. But I know we got there not because I claim to be some big shot Jack with the top 5 secrets to crypto success, but more than anything, a sense of sharing knowledge, being a friend when you guys need it, when markets are crazy, and really aiming to build a sense of transparency in a community. And I know I've rambled on a lot, but I hope that you guys stuck around to really get that. To get that I'm sorry, to get that I want to make up for this in any way possible, and to let you all know, again, let me reaffirm, after those 2, I have yet to accept a paid ICO review. And I'm going to go ahead here, and this is something that the mods recommended I do, is show you all the times that I've gotten offered, and this isn't even all of them, a variety of the different cases where I've gotten offered to do paid ICO reviews on my channel. And I've rejected it every time, because ever since I did the Syndicator one, that's really when it hit me, but it still kind of hit me when I did the Substratum one. I was on and off about it. Ever since I did those 2 paid reviews, I didn't feel right. And sure, they were projects I believed in, and sure, I was going to cover them anyways. But that doesn't change the fact that there was a form of payment involved, and that can be seen as a conflict of interest. So for that, I'm sorry. I hope to make up for it by continuing to stay transparent with you all and never doing it again. And if there is anything that I ever do in the future that involves payment or some form of conflict of interest, I will be transparent with you all. Because that's what matters to me, is having a channel not to, pop out paid ICO reviews and make a few $1,000s here and there in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or their ERC20 token, whatever it is. It's to build a community. I'm here for the long I'm here for the long hurdle, guys. This space is immensely interesting to me. I'm here for the moral implementation. To let you all know what I'm here for, I'd say it's 2 things. First and foremost, I hate banks. Made that very clear if you've been in the Discord. If you guys have watched my content, I've mentioned it before. I've probably hinted at it a few times. I genuinely hate the traditional finance system, and I would love to find something that could fix that. And that leads me towards the second thing, and that's cryptocurrencies. Cryptocurrencies are that solution. I genuinely believe that. And there's nothing that's going to change my mind on that until I'm proven otherwise. I've seen what it's been able to do for so many people and where we're heading with this technology. And I'll tell you guys, the main thing that motivates me outside of the community and being an alternative to finance is when I hear the stories from you guys. I don't mean to ramble on or kiss up to myself in this regard, but I've literally been told by people from personal messages, they say, "Hey Nick, thanks for your content. Because of you, I'm now out of bankruptcy." And as someone who is passionate about traditional finance, or getting rid of traditional finance because of where it's left people, hearing that and stories like it are what get me up every single morning to make more content for you guys and to keep that sense of transparency and to never let any form of money or influence get in the way of why I'm doing all this. So I hope that makes it up in a sense. And if you guys ever have any questions, though I can't always get to you all, I hope that I can answer them. Thank you guys for listening to me if you stuck through the video. I appreciate the continued love and support. And I'll be back in action making content as always. And I hope to see you guys across the world as I go on my trip over the next week. Alright? Anyways guys, thank you all so much for watching. And I'll see you all in the next video. Stay tuned.